As far as how do we begin to heal our relationship with food, I think the first piece of advice I typically give clients is we have to detach from the constructs that society has given us, like counting calories, like doing math just to eat, right? So this associating numbers with food, points with food, overly obsessing with macros. We have to disconnect from things like everything in moderation, thinking like no matter how unhealthy something is, we can still have it as long as it's in a made up size called moderation, which is different from everybody. So I think one, just starting to build our own relationship with food is all about recognizing that number one, food is information. And while our body has the technology to heal us, to keep us whole, to prevent disease, it is our responsibilities as the carriers of these bodies to give our bodies the raw material it needs to accurately use the technology. So one, food is information above everything else. And while we use it for pleasure, we use food to, break bread, we use food to entertain. The first and primary point of food is information for the body, and it is the raw materials that our body and our brains need to thrive. And so I believe we begin working and improving our relationship with food by recognizing that first we must begin eating from a biological perspective and not a behavioral perspective. And when I say behavioral, it means that most of us, say we eat based on what we feel like. We eat based on what we're in the mood for. We eat based on emotions, but very rarely are we thinking, have I gotten in my micronutrients today? Did I get enough vitamins and minerals? Did I get my fiber in, my antioxidants, my water? So we need to start eating from a biological perspective first. And then again, disconnecting from these made up constructs, like breakfast is a made up construct, 3 meals a day is a made up construct, counting calories, we shouldn't have to do that. And so it's all of these rules about food that are so man-made. But if we begin to eat more intuitively based on what the body and brain needs to thrive, then we can have a healthy relationship instead of thinking we need to do math and associate all of these systems with food, and it's just not necessary. So approaching it more intuitively as opposed to made up constructs would be my advice.